Guys, what's the crack? Bitcoin with Dinny? It's Dinny here. This is the channel where we teach you how to understand money, investing, risk, and of course, most importantly, Bitcoin. Because it's likely everything you know about all those things are incorrect. Certainly it was for me. I started my journey living in a caravan, a mobile home with a net worth of zero. And as I started to discover and learn about money, investing, risk, and Bitcoin, things changed rapidly. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We're getting a lot of newer people here, which is absolutely awesome. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about where Bitcoin is going so you can make a better investment decision and how to position yourself so you do the very best for you and your family. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you learn about all this good stuff. And first off, I just want to revisit the basics. Because we have a lot of new people here, I want to give you one point before I talk about it. And before I get to it, let me know in the comments where you think the price of Bitcoin is going. Are we going back to 35k or do you think we're going up to 45k? Let me know. So it's Monday here. I'm in the shed, I'm in the workshop. I've been just working on my motorbike. Give you a little look at it. She's all stripped down. I've got new plastics to go on it. Going to give her a little clean. And generally just having the crack. For me, I don't do any work on a Monday. And this is your first lesson, okay? Today, as I'm down here in the shed, and I had a conversation with a young lad earlier, as I was up in the gym training, and, you know, my point was, as I'm here doing my passions, other people are working for me. This is the difference between a worker, being an employee, okay, and an investor. As an investor, okay, other people work for you and you never have to pay them. And it's absolutely beautiful. Isn't that an ideal situation? Okay? Because today, thousands and thousands of people all over the world got up this morning early and went to work and stayed in an office for 8 hours or stayed at home and worked on something to make my investments worth more. And this is why you have to understand that the only way to get ahead, if you want to retire early, I was fortunate enough to be able to go from a zero net worth to being in a position to retire under 40. I tried it, I got bored, I love working, I work on Bitcoin now and I have a couple of other companies and they're all on things I'm really passionate about. But the privilege is to be able to go to work or not go to work. I just got back from 2 months off in Spain and to me, you know, that's the goal. If you can have a bit of balance and take as much time off as you want, that's the goal. And that's what I want for you guys. And I know when I speak to people, when I speak to my clients, all you want is more time to spend with your friends and family. Yeah, Instagram throws you the dream of, oh, have a Lambo, go to these fancy parties. But the people I meet, they just want more time or just want to be able to leave something behind for their kids. Now, the only way to do that is to become an investor and understand investing. Because your investments work for you 365 days a year. Even on Christmas Day, your investments are working for you. Okay, someone's working on your investment somewhere on the planet on Christmas Day. And that's the beauty of it. And that's the first thing we have to get our head around, that you have to become an investor. If you ever want to get wealthy, you need to understand that investing is the only way to get there. My second little Dinny bomb, just starting with a few Dinny bombs. And if you've just joined the stream, my question is Bitcoin going to 35k or 45k next? Let me know in the comments. I'll have a look in a second. Okay. But my second little Dinny bomb is about risk. Oh, but investing is risky. Shouldn't I just put my money in the bank? Going down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin will teach you how money works. Right now, I think leaving money in the bank is one of the riskiest things that you can do. When you understand the deficits that all governments in the world are running, mean they're heavily indebted, okay, that even if they tax us more, there's still not enough money to cover the debt. And there's interest on the debt. And now interest rates are sky high. In Ireland, not sure where you are, you can let me know in the comments, but in Ireland, the cost to acquiring a house has doubled since interest rates went up. Okay, now most people just think, oh, interest rates are only gone up 4%. It's meant, when you pay the term of your mortgage, it's costing a young person, or any person who wants to buy a house, twice as much to own a property today with interest rates going up. So not only is it a problem for you and me and anyone who wants to buy anything, but it's a problem for governments because they've got to service all this debt that they have and they're heavily indebted and there's no way to pay it back. Okay, but there is a little secret way that governments cover debt, and that's called debasing currency. Okay, and that just means to make the currency worth less so that the actual purchasing power of the debt is worth less. And the simple way to describe that is we print money, okay? Since the great financial crisis, governments have decided this is our get out of jail card. We can just print money. If we raise taxes, people go mad. If we just print money, most people don't notice. They don't understand how money works and they'll just go to work and they'll just go, oh, those greedy businesses are putting up the prices. But unfortunately, it's not the greedy business's fault. It's that the currency, the underlying money has lost its purchasing power. So leaving your money sitting in a bank for inflation or currency debasement to just steal the purchasing power of it, because it doesn't matter if you have 100 grand or a million or 5 grand in savings, it's what it buys. okay? And it's as plain as day. It can only happen that in 5 years' time, your 5 grand, 100 grand, million will buy less things than it buys today, okay? And that's currency based. And wind yourself back every 5 years for the entirety of your life, and you'll be like, oh yeah, that's why I used to go shopping with 50 euros. That's why I used to go shopping with 20 pounds and fill my trolley. And now you need 200, okay? So the currency isn't money. This is where we get lost and confused, okay? Currency loses its purchasing power, and that's why it's the riskiest thing that you can do, although 9 out of 10 people you ask on the street, and I know you're not one of them because you're here and learning, okay, have been educated to say, save your money, put it in the bank. That's the least risky thing you can do. Or even worse, give it to someone else and make them rich, like put it in a pension. I won't even get started on that, okay? But a lot of you guys are new and you are hearing Bitcoin's after rallying. Bitcoin is up 200% almost this year alone. So it's getting people's attention again. We're going to get new cohorts coming in. I'll do another video on how to deal with your friends and family who are all going to be pestering you. If you guys have been here throughout the bear market and watching the channel and acquiring and accumulating Bitcoin, congratulations, you're feeling really good. Case, just a little reminder, ignore scammers in the comments. I will never message you or DM you. Unfortunately, the social media platforms are full of them. So just be careful to any new people. Never respond to any DMs you get on any social medias, and get educated, because there's a cost to being in this space. It'll retire you early, but there's a cost to being in it. And for most people, they have to make a costly mistake and get scammed out of money or make a silly investing mistake. So you're better off investing into education. Check out all our courses. I'll give you loads of book recommendations if you want. But get educated. Invest in education before you invest in your money. And I said I was chatting to a young lad earlier, and I'll just finish the little point that I was trying to communicate to him. He said, Dini, should I just buy Bitcoin? And I said, you should understand Bitcoin, okay? This was my trainer in the gym. Okay? And I says, you should understand it. You should buy some books on it first, okay? And I says, if someone's really overweight, if they just buy a dumbbell, is that going to help them lose all the weight and get healthy? Just by buying a dumbbell. Although the dumbbell will allow them to train and get fit and burn fat and create muscle, but just buying a dumbbell, it's not going to get the job done. They need to invest into education on how the dumbbell works, what you're meant to do with the thing, okay? Understand nutrition. And they'll also probably need some accountability, okay, like investing into a trainer, and they might need a bit of community to help them keep it on going. So rather than just buying a dumbbell, an overweight person is much better investing into a personal trainer. And it's the very same with Bitcoin. You need all those things, and all those things will help you to have more success in it, because, and I'm not saying you shouldn't just buy Bitcoin. Nothing you hear is financial advice, okay? But if you don't understand what you're doing, if you don't know how it works, you likely buy the wrong time, sell at the wrong time, not buy when you should, buy when you shouldn't, not know where to custody it with somewhere, make a mistake custodying it and lose the asset. Okay, so there's all these mistakes that people make, and that's why I say spend your money on your education, because you're going to spend money either way, and the mistakes are much more costly than the education, and the education gives you much higher returns than the mistakes. It takes time. Tony Robbins taught me, you can spend 10 years to become an expert in something and waste 10 years of your life and all the mistakes, or you can pay someone who's done all that and save 10 years and make money for 10 years. That's the better way, and that's what I've done all my life. I've invested into education, and that's mainly the reason why I'm retired. I was able to retire under 40. Nothing to do with Bitcoin. I've never sold any Bitcoin. I'm just trying to accumulate Bitcoin. I didn't figure it out early enough to be in a position to be selling my Bitcoin. I'm holding on to my Bitcoin. I'm trying to accumulate as much as I can. So anyway, how are we doing in the comments? Have you told me if Bitcoin is going to 35k or 45k? Now, I was trying to put a poll up with the live. And do me a favour, guys. If you are here and you're enjoying the video, enjoy the content, hit the like button. It helps push the content out there to more people. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that now, because the social media platform will show you more of this type of content. And this is the content you need to consume. Mainstream media is dead. There's no one consuming mainstream media anymore. When you look at the metrics, people are learning, okay, by following alternative sources. Mainstream media will not teach you how Bitcoin works. For the entirety of the time I've been involved in the space, they've told you Bitcoin bad, don't touch Bitcoin. Meanwhile, with my company, we have put hundreds, almost check now, we're probably near 1,000 people in consulting. We've built early retirement portfolios for people. Some people have achieved their goals. Some people will probably achieve it in this cycle. Some people who have started sooner, maybe it takes 2 cycles. But this is the value that you get. So when it comes to the price of Bitcoin, people are like, should I buy now? You get what's called FOMO, which is fear of missing out. Now, you'll notice if you're in the cycle in 2020 and you left and now you're back, you're making all the mistakes that a typical person will do, okay? You're meant to buy low, sell high. It doesn't matter, though, because I don't want to be saying, you shoulda, woulda, coulda, okay? Whenever you understand Bitcoin is the right time to figure it out, this is what you must focus on. You must only focus on its adoption. Where people go wrong is because they don't understand how to invest. I've been investing for over a decade, heavily into myself, as I told you. But because people don't understand how to invest, they don't understand how to value things. When it comes to Bitcoin, okay, people value things on the price. The price is the valuation. But the price is the worst indicator of the valuation, okay? And you shouldn't focus on the price. The price is absolutely irrelevant. With Bitcoin, the way I'd price it is, or the way I'd value it, correct the terminology there, Dini, is on its adoption. Because Bitcoin is a fixed asset, it only matters of what phase of its adoption it's in. So if someone would say to me, I coulda, woulda, shoulda bought Bitcoin 6 years ago, Dini, I'd be like, okay, and you're buying it today? And they'll say, no, I missed the boat, I missed out, damn it. And I'll go, okay, but you know in another 6 years, you're going to have two stories where you coulda, woulda, shoulda, and then you knew all about it, and you coulda, woulda, shoulda again. Okay? Because 6 years ago, Bitcoin was maybe 0.5%, 1% adopted. So it was still a bit of, it was great to be able to understand Bitcoin when it was 1% adopted. But then today, where are we? Are we 5% adopted? 6, 7, 8, 9? We're hardly more than 10. I don't think we are even near that. So you've the exact same situation today. For anybody that has the coulda, woulda, shoulda story, or it was cheaper and I should have, it's like, okay, that's fine, that's fair. But if today we are 99% of the world has adopted Bitcoin, or 90%, or 85%, tell that story, tell it to your grandkids, keep telling everybody how stupid you were. But it doesn't make sense to tell that story today. Because we went from 1% adopted to 5, max 10%. We still have 90% to go. So you will have more pain ahead by being a Bitcoin non-believer or by not doing the work on it. That's why the price of Bitcoin is irrelevant in the short term. And this is just how I understand it and think of it. Because if you are understanding how to invest, understanding property, understanding how you can leverage assets, and understanding that wealthy people, they never sell assets. When you come into this space, you think it's about buying here and selling up here, and when it drops, get back in. None of that nonsense. You don't need any of that. And anyone who promises any of that is only making money from selling you that course, right? Traders are losers. And I don't mean their personality, but oftentimes their personality needs work because they're only about short term and they always lose money. Traders lose money, okay? And since I've started this channel, that's been my rhetoric. And I've had people I know who have traded. It's a 99% failure rate to try and trade this asset. And the most successful people, the billionaires, okay, the hedge fund managers, who I've done workshops with and internships with, have all taught me, you don't trade this thing. There's no way I could trade. So if the billionaires who manage serious money for people, if they're not smart enough to trade it, why do you think you are? So you don't need to. That's the beauty of it. Trading requires work. I'm in my shed here, having the crack, working on my bike, going to the gym today, no work on a Monday. Why would you bother? Okay? And the investments are making money. Whereas if I was a trader, I'd have to sit in a room, on a screen, trying to figure stuff out. And guess what? No one knows in the short term. Some people get it right, but then they get it wrong. And they scream when they get it right. So you go, oh, he got it right. Think of Gareth Soloway. He called the top. Great lad. But he has loads of people on the sidelines sitting waiting for their 8 grand Bitcoin. And those people end up piling in at 30k because I know loads of them. Okay? And they had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at 15 grand if they didn't try to trade the market and they'd just done the strategy that we teach all our clients, the accumulation strategy, which is simple, doesn't take any mental energy, doesn't take any time, it takes 30 seconds a month. Okay? And then you go and have the crack. So you don't need to trade. That's the first thing that most beginners think is they have to trade and look at squiggly lines on a chart and join Telegram groups and all this nonsense. If you're new here, I call Dini bombs my little advice bombs. If you're new here, focus on Bitcoin. Until you understand Bitcoin, read at least 2 Bitcoin books. Okay? people can stick in the comments what Bitcoin books they've read, and that'll help some of the newer people. But I guarantee you there's some clever people here who are studying, and I bet you some people are going to comment some good books down below. So read at least 2 Bitcoin books and understand Bitcoin before you try and go speculate in altcoins. Because when you do that, from someone with experience, and fair enough in consulting, we've nearly 1,000 clients, but in a retire early group and all the workshops I've taught, I've probably taught 5,000 people, okay? 99.9% of them have just lost their money by getting into altcoins. And when I say lost their money, they've given it to people wealthier than them, people who understand the market better, venture capitalists. So if you have too much money and it's annoying you and you want to give it to really rich people, forget about Bitcoin and start trading some altcoins. Have at it, okay? But if you just want more freedom and time with your family and you'd like to retire early and you don't have to be in front of a screen all the time, start investing. Understand that when you can invest and accumulate assets and set yourself a 10-year goal rather than a 10-month goal, you can change your life, as I did. Because everything that I've done to go from mobile home to freedom has been documented. All our courses, and pretty much if you watch all my lives, I tell you exactly what I've done. And it's just about investing, okay? And getting out of the I need it now. Instead, it's I'm going to build it for the future. And that's the whole ethos of Bitcoin. It's called delayed gratification, okay? Or time preferences. So, case in point, if you're accumulating Bitcoin and you're hoping to sell it in a year and make 10 grand or 20 grand, then it kind of matters a bit. But if you want to retire early, it doesn't matter whether you buy Bitcoin at 45 grand or 35 grand, okay? Because if you want to retire early, making 10 grand is not going to cut it. Even doubling your money, changing 45 grand to 90 grand, it's not going to retire you early. Okay? So your investment strategy is going to have to be a little bit longer than a year. And the irony of it is that everybody thinks that we can achieve amazing goals in the short term, but we underestimate what we can actually achieve in an 8 or a 10-year plan. And this is where what I do with a lot of the consulting clients is we put it down and we use a calculator, and it blows their mind when they see what their investment could turn into over 10 years. And they don't have to trade or speculate or gamble or have any decisions. They just have to manage the portfolio. And this is what successful investing is. Because as this market changes, as the ETF comes in, there's going to be a new cohort of investors coming in. And they're not like typical crypto degenerates. I include myself in that. You know, people who don't really understand investing principles, who are just here for the buy low, sell high, but in reality they end up buying high and selling low, okay? These are professional investors that are coming into the space now. These are corporations, these are institutions, these are insurance endowments. When these people buy property and scarce assets, they hold them. For how long? Forever, okay? And that's what people aren't getting. That there's going to be a supply squeeze on Bitcoin. I don't know when it comes, but there's going to be a supply squeeze. And that's why you have to have this built and created and accumulate as much of that property as you can before that occurs. Because these are professional investors that are going to come in. Okay? And these professional investors are going to gobble up an absolutely enormous supply of Bitcoin. Do you know by 2035 pretty much all the Bitcoin is mined? It's not that far away, people. So you have a massive opportunity now. If you're a short-term thinker and you're thinking you missed out, remember, in 10 years' time, you'll be thinking about today going, what an idiot I was. I should have focused on the actual adoption because that's all that matters. Guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to go put the bike. Do you want to hear what a YZ sounds like without the exhaust on? I've got new plastics to put on it. Here, I'll start her up without the exhaust for the crack. See if I can get my phone out with this. She makes an awful racket. She sounds like an old classic. Look at her there. We've all the plastics off. I need to give her a clean because I took them all off and she is manky. But we've got some new stuff to go on. Right, mind your ears. Not sure how it'll come out in this. Yeah. Oh, Molly doesn't like that too much. You all right, Moll? Hey. Molly. Big bangs. Might need a bit of choke, lads. She's cold. That's the beauty. Guys, have a super evening. It's good to have you all here. Try and share this video with more and more people. And ignore the scammers in the comments. I'll delete them there now in a minute. Yeah, all right, Molly, come here to me. Oh, both bang. Both bangs. You saying hello to the guys? Did you buy your Bitcoin today, Molly, did you? Did you get your sats? Oh, you did. Guys, have a super day, super evening. Throw a comment in. Let me know if you got some value out of that. And I'll talk to you all soon. Share the video with as many people as you can. Teach them about Bitcoin, because their euro, their dollar, their pound sterling is only going to buy them much less stuff in the future. Their pension's a fiat derivative, okay, which means it's connected to the euro, the dollar, the pound sterling. Doesn't matter if they give you back 100 grand in 10 years' time. It's what can you buy with 100 grand? Not a whole lot. Dini out.